Tech companies typically do have sales teams that are out there selling, and they're professional sales teams. The challenge that tech companies have and that sales teams have is, firstly, they're often faced with a ton of new technology that they have to learn, so lots of new tools. They're always under pressure to close more, to sell more. Quotas are climbing all the time, so an immense amount of pressure in that space. And while they might, in a bigger firm, have a proposal team or an RFP team, often the salespeople are left to do the work that they need to do or win the deal without particular support elsewhere. So that puts a lot of pressure on them. But they don't have the billable challenges like other services companies do, because they typically would have specific sellers working for them. Sometimes they get asked for a business case, but really what they should be doing is offering a business case every single time they do a particular project. This is why you should do this project. And that's going to help them overcome maybe slowness in the deal, maybe people reluctant to actually commit to their offering. Those business cases, and not just the business case, the whole story they tell around value will really help them to be able to do that. Now, the great thing about starting with value is that you set off on a really good basis, but then you have to make sure that you carry that all the way through that discussion. So in your next meeting, maybe you're doing a PowerPoint deck and you're talking about your technology, you still want to anchor back onto that value. When you share the proposal, still want to anchor back onto that value. When you're responding to the RFP at the end of that, you want to make sure that your executive summary addresses the value once again. So it's end-to-end value process that you're anchored on throughout that sales cycle for the tech firm. Whether you're offering a service or a product or a combination of both, which is very, very common out there, you need to be able to present the value, present it in a compelling way, make sure that you can anchor your pricing in a good way as well. And then, do that without having to train your sales team on 55 different systems to hit each one of those. And that's where QorusDocs really comes into the picture, because we're a single platform on which you can create a business case. You can then take elements of that business case and include that in all of your other documents and presentations and RFP responses as you're going through that process. Each one of those documents, though, is a winning document. So there's an element of effort that goes into that will help you to win. But it's all driven through one platform, integrated into Office, integrated into CRM, value-based reporting coming out of that to show you how you're doing with each one of those and making sure that you drive up that win rate, drive down the duration of those deals. It does come back to a level of good content. And now, there's still the same elements, whether you're offering just a technical service or service and product, or just product on its own. If it's just service, it's obviously CVs and bios and case studies again. If it's product, the product becomes like the CV. It's the same person. You still need the case studies. You still need to show how you can win in those various areas. So you still want to organize your content really well and really effectively to be able to do that. Then you have to be able to streamline the process. You don't want any of those teams spending hours finding, hey, where is John Smith's latest CV? Or where is the description on a laser printer available? You need that at hand. And the agents need to be able to find that and use that effectively as they're going through that process of assisting you to generate proposals. Especially, we don't want them making it up. And that is the challenge with a lot of these folks that are really focused on closing deals, is they don't have time to go look. So if they can't find, it's quicker for them to make it up, and then they make it up wrong and use the old one. Well, besides many of the agentic capabilities that we've already covered, like finding content or writing a case study, one of the areas we're very excited about is the agentic capability around business cases. So that is the ability to really describe the type of business case that you want to our AI and have that business case automatically generated based on inputs from the firm. When it comes to putting a business case together, it often takes a lot of time to go and think through the benefits and quantify those benefits. But by using AI and agents, a lot of that work can be pre-done for you. So you're really just validating that process. And then agents will help to be able to use the best elements of that over and over again in different documents that you might be producing. QorusDocs obviously uses our own tools as well. And one of the things that we use it for is a single platform to be able to produce all of these documents, to collaborate on all these documents in one place. And ultimately, the reason that we're using it is so that we can win more. So from the business case perspective, we want less, hey, we didn't get a response or customer just went cold, because we've created a business case that shows them how important it is to use the service and the product that we have. We want to make sure that our teams are not spending hours putting proposals together or responding to RFPs. So that's where the agentic capability comes in. But in addition to that, we want to be able to build elements of that value story in at every layer, because that's going to drive that win rate up. It's going to make the sales team more focused on relationships, better demos, better engagements, and less time trying to write documents which are critical to the win, but so frustrating to put together.